Welcome and hello from Alex, with a story from r/TalesFrom Mix, where a convenience store worker deals with an overly chatty customer who overstays closing time. Coming up next is a story from Green Sus. When do we close? We're supposed to be closed right now. Had a guy come in last minute last night at the convenience store I work closing shifts for. Usually it's not an issue, they're usually in and out fast. I was literally fetching the key to lock the doors when the guy in question came in, so I have to wait for him to finish before I can shut down. So again, I didn't think much because usually last-minute stragglers is quick. He wasn't. Between him practically inspecting every single item we had on shelves, going wait I need to get more things 3 times after coming to the register, and then wanting to keep chatting after he'd paid and had his stuff bagged. Despite me being non-receptive, it was almost 15 minutes past closing time. I've done everything I could to not give him reason to keep chatting, trying to be polite and nudge him out the door, to no avail. Then he went and asked, "So what time do you close, anyway?" So I told him that we were supposed to have locked up 15 minutes ago, hoping that he would get the message and head out. Dude laughed, then kept trying to talk, like, "Oh, you guys close early." When I worked retail, we stayed open until midnight and then tried to go on a tangent about how things were when he was a retail worker, blah blah blah. I ended up having to be blunt, straight up telling him that if he's done shopping I'll need him to leave so we can close. He, of course, got sour after that because of course it's terrible customer service. It's small and mostly inconvenient, but holy crap does it infuriate me when people know it's past or close closing time and want to hang out despite it. Sounds like that customer last night was a real pain. Closing up shop and getting home after a long shift is tough enough without someone holding you hostage with pointless conversation. 15 minutes past closing is pretty inconsiderate, especially at a convenience store. You definitely handled it well though, trying to be polite but firm with the nudges and then being clear when it wasn't working. That's the right approach in that situation. And who laughs when they're told the store is closed? Like, dude, read the room. The whole "when I worked retail" thing is the worst. Nobody cares about your past retail experiences, especially when you're the one delaying everyone else from going home. Good riddance to that guy. Retail workers have enough to deal with without customers who can't take a hint. Coming up next is a story from birdmanrules. My Friday night, wedding edition. The bride has just left and my shift is over for Sunday morning. It all started Friday night. What a weekend. Like most weekends here, not a room available all weekend. Friday night everyone was warm and tucked up early in their beds. Nandi coming late. Last arrival 9 p.m. Friday night. Night auditor's wet dream. Well, about 10 p.m. Friday night I get a visitor from the bridal room. The bride, alone in that room, decided she wanted to go walkabout. I asked her if she is excited for tomorrow and she starts to cry. "I don't think I can marry him. I am not ready." Night auditor's counseling services appears to have now opened its doors for business. I get her water and she sits down on a lounge. I asked her why she thinks that and she tells me, "My dog loves him, my mother loves him, even the bird, parrot, loves him. I don't think I am over my ex." I ask her about the ex and if she has spoken to him recently. After a bit of trying to work out what she was trying to say, I work out the ex is deceased. Car accident, 3 years ago. The groom came into the picture 6 months later, didn't know each other. He was there when she tried to do something stupid to herself and that is how they became a couple. Groom was staying elsewhere Friday. I only met him last night. Seems a good bloke. But what can you really tell from 2 minutes? I tell her, "From what you have told me, he loves you, cares about you. Your mother cannot find anything and many mothers won't hold back if they do. Your dad and brothers are happy to spend time with him. I think you have won." I told her that I think you are just having cold feet. He chose you, he asked you. If he thought you were not what he wanted, he wouldn't have asked. I said to her that she should just get some rest and see how she feels in the morning. Saturday morning I am leaving as my work daughter had appeared and had taken over. The bride is heading outside for her morning jog from her attire. She stops and says she feels better this morning. The work daughter looks at me as I had told her the bride might be a little nervous this morning. Saturday night, 1 a.m. the happy couple arrive back, take the champagne as they walked past and head up. Not more than 20 minutes later her brother walks in with what he says was a piece of wedding cake and part of the flowers from the bridal table. Says, "My sister said to give them to you as thanks." Never gotten flowers in my life. They are at present on the desk in a vase. I have been told by the front desk agent she has left me a box at the hotel. When I told them to open it, it has engraved glasses from the wedding. This story is a roller coaster of emotions. The night auditor really went above and beyond to help the bride through her cold feet. It sounds like the bride was worried she was rushing into things, but the night auditor's reassurances, and maybe a good night's sleep, helped her gain some perspective. The detail about the dog, mom, and even the parrot loving the groom is hilarious and weirdly sweet. It seems like everyone could tell this guy was a good one. And good on the groom for being there for the bride after she lost her ex. Talk about starting a relationship under difficult circumstances. The ending is a nice touch, the bride feeling better, the late night return with champagne, hopefully after a fun reception, and the thoughtful gifts of cake, flowers, and engraved glasses. It sounds like the night auditor played a small but important role in a happy ending for this couple. Makes you believe in the power of a listening ear and a little kindness. Coming up next is a story from sjarri, and if you like the video so far, don't forget to like the video. It only takes a second and helps me out a lot. My most incompetent user only lasted for 2 months. This happened many years ago and over a period of 2 months. A new guy started in the accounting department. I shall call him Kevin. Kevin kept his browser bookmarks in a Word document and would copy and paste links to and from this document. I showed him how to make bookmarks in Edge, but he would forget how the moment he closed the browser. The Word doc method worked well enough, so I just left him alone. Our staff intranet is set as the default start page in Edge, so it opens when you open the browser. But when Kevin wanted to access the intranet, he would open Edge, completely ignore the page that just opened, and then copy and paste the intranet link from his Word doc into a new tab. He would often have 2 intranet tabs open whenever he called me over. By some miracle, he never typed Google into the Google search field. All desks have a universal docking station where monitors and other accessories are plugged in, so you only need to plug a single cable into your computer. For some reason, Kevin would unplug the mouse and keyboard receivers from the dock before he went home. Then he would call me the next day because his mouse and keyboard weren't working. I explained multiple times that he didn't need to unplug them, but he kept doing it. I got tired of this, so I waited for him to leave his desk and plugged the receivers into the back of one of his monitors, where he couldn't see them. I have no idea why he kept unplugging them, but he stopped when he could no longer see them. Kevin needed some accounting software to do his job but would always forget how to open it. I tried pinning the icon to the taskbar and showing him how to click on it, but he would call me the next day because he couldn't find the icon. So I came up with a cunning plan. He had no problem opening his Word doc on the desktop, so I took a screenshot of the taskbar, added a red arrow that pointed to the icon, and inserted the screenshot at the top of his Word doc. That solved the problem. Until a few days later, he had somehow managed to pin another icon to the taskbar. He had pinned it to the far right of all the other icons, so they were all still in the same spot in the screenshot and the red arrow was still pointing to the same place. But, you see, now the taskbar had one extra icon on it and therefore it didn't look like the one in the screenshot, so now he was afraid to click anything. I just updated the screenshot. He tried working from home but could not figure out how to connect to his Wi-Fi. He brought a note to work with the Wi-Fi name and password, and I manually added it to his computer so that it would connect automatically when he got home. But of course, he also had to connect to the company VPN. We gave him a very detailed guide with pictures and stayed on the phone with him the whole time, but it was hopeless. He just gave up on working from home. These were the things that stood out, but Kevin called almost every day about other, minor things. He was actually a really nice guy. He was always friendly, and he really did try hard to learn. He wasn't challenged in any way and seemed very intelligent. When you spoke to him, he was just completely useless when it came to computers. After 2 months of this, Kevin came to the office to deliver his computer. He thanked me for all the help and said that he was going to pursue different opportunities elsewhere. I have no idea if he quit or was fired, but I do hope things went well for him. Kevin sounds like a real head-scratcher. Bless his heart. The guy seems genuinely nice and eager to learn, but his computer skills must have been driving you up the wall. Copying and pasting links from a Word document instead of using bookmarks, unplugging his mouse and keyboard every night. Those are some next-level workarounds. You've definitely got the patience of a saint for sticking with him for 2 months. The screenshot with the red arrow was pretty ingenious, though gotta give you credit for that. In the end, it sounds like it was probably a good thing for everyone involved that he moved on. Hopefully he found a role that better suited his talents, and maybe you got a break from the daily dose of tech frustration. Coming up next is a story from Serious Progress 1242. Told 2 ladies to keep their tip. I am working a night shift at Waffle House. Whole place is empty. They come in and I said cheerfully, "Hey, how are y'all doing?" Silence on their part. Then one of the ladies came to the only dirty table and said, "Can you wipe this down?" I proceeded to take their order, deliver it, and get their refills without speaking. At the end they came to pay up front, went to give me $5 cash, and I said, "No thank you, have a great night," also cheerfully. I don't know what it is, but when I am treated like a servant, I don't want their money. That sounds rough. Working a whole night shift with an empty restaurant can be dull, but those customers definitely didn't make things any more exciting. It's pretty inconsiderate not to even respond to a friendly greeting, especially when they're the ones asking for a favor like wiping down a table. Good on you for taking the high road and refusing their tip. Sometimes letting people know their behavior isn't cool speaks louder than words, and maybe it'll make them think twice next time. Plus, who wants to keep money that comes with an attitude like that? Coming up next is a story from Buffalo 696. Worker didn't know what a bean burrito is. So my sister and her boyfriend went to this weekend and she just wanted a bean burrito. The woman asked, "The one with the lettuce and tomato?" My sister was utterly baffled and just told the woman, "No, just a bean burrito." They get their food and take it home. Lo and behold, my sister's bean burrito was loose black beans and a tortilla with nothing else. A bean burrito is so incredibly simple: refried beans, sauce, cheese, maybe onion, depending on where you are. She said she just ate it anyway and it was awful. I don't get how stuff can be getting this bad. When I was little, I used to be able to go anywhere and do the most complicated order and it would always be correct. Hell, even in college a little over half a decade ago, I could go to restaurants nearly daily and my orders were never screwed up. Nowadays, my family goes into empty restaurants and food joints. We get the simplest item on the menu, and it's still wrong. I am so tired when it comes to food service. Wow, that bean burrito sounds like a total letdown. Refried beans, cheese, and some sauce. That's the beauty of a bean burrito, a classic for a reason. It's crazy to imagine getting just plain black beans. Maybe the employee was super new. Still, you'd think someone working at a taco cell would know their basic burritos. And I hear you on the frustration with food service these days. Everything seems so hit or miss. Like, how hard is it to get a simple order right, especially when the place is practically empty? It makes you nostalgic for the good old days when orders were made with care and getting what you asked for wasn't a surprise. Maybe we all just need to start carrying around laminated cards with pictures of exactly what we want to avoid any confusion. That wraps up the r/Tales from Mix. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to visit my Spotify channel. Link is in the description, so you can listen to the best Reddit story while being outside, and remember to hit that subscribe button.